sip that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
Oh, it's Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday. Good morning, everybody. I decided to, switch it up a little bit here in the palace. Good morning, Francois. Francois, my Francois, what island are you on? Good morning to you. Good morning, the innocent instigator. Aunt Debbie is in the chat. Good morning, everybody. One crafty sister. I see everybody flowing in. I see Alf MC. Where my moderators at? Toot Latrice, Linda Gamble, what is y'all doing? Where are you? But good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Monday morning. I don't know about you, but I woke up feeling hella good, ready to go. And I said, you know what? I'm not a morning person. So y'all don't get a lot of morning stuff in the palace, but I decided, you know what? Give the people what they want. Let's connect and let's just open the mic and do what we do. It's an open topic today. The floor is hot. The mics are lit. And if you just want to come up and talk about whatever it is, that's what we're going to do. We will go live a little bit later tonight, y'all. We're going to cover Love and Marriage Huntsville. Of course we are. So we're going to do a party in the chat tonight like we always do, 7:35 p.m. Central Standard Time. But today I just wanted to do something different. Y'all, it's December 2nd. We got here so quick. The year has completely flown by. Has it been a good year for you? Has it been a blah, blah year for you? What are you trying to end on? What we doing? What we doing? Or how are you trying to end this year? And that's something that I kind of wanted to talk about in this morning's pop-up show. And I call it a pop-up because we normally don't get to go live too often in the palace, but it's going to be a viewer takeover, open mic, on air. That's what it is. That's how we're doing it. So you feel free to come up. And if not, feel free to participate from the chat. But either way, I've got you covered. We're entering into Q4. We are here at Q4. We're going to close out the new year. And I really hope that y'all are planning to make the best of it. I hope y'all are planning to make the best of it if you haven't already. You get what I'm saying? If you haven't already. Don't let nobody play in your face. Don't let nobody play in your face. You do not have time to be playing. Stay focused. Don't let anybody sabotage your energy, sabotage your projects, whatever it is you got going on. And listen, stay with people that are going to keep you productive, that are going to keep you moving forward towards the end of the year, whatever those goals are. I woke up, I've been up for a while actually, but I just opened a message on Instagram, a DM that made me smile. And it just, because somebody was thinking of me and was like, hey, listen, I got you with this A, B, C, D. And I was like, damn, that's so nice. So if you got people that really pour into you, stay with that. That's a gift. People that keep you on task, keep you focused on the prize. Because there is a project that I was supposed to I'm going to work on, but I wasn't sure. But when I got that message this morning, I was like, bet, you know what? Game on. Let's do it. The CEO Finance Queen said, let's all keep May. Oh, yeah. Let's keep Mel in our prayers. You know what? That's a great reminder. Yes, everybody. I forgot. She's in court today. I believe they're in court today. And if I'm correct, she was subpoenaed. So let's just send out some positive thoughts there. RL3 money. Did I say it? Yes, RL3 money.
Yeah, bro. Howdy.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I just seen the viewer takeover. I was like, well, let me go take over real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. You got the floor. I hope it's a beautiful morning for you.
Oh, it is. I'm in Florida. It's a little cooler down there. It's been hot.
What do y'all what's the temp? What you sitting on right now as far as temperatures?
Probably about let me see. It's 11. I ain't been outside yet. So I
Oh,
think it's
yes,
probably in
you're an
about
hour ahead.
like 70. It's probably at 70 right now.
Oh, that's nice
60.
for Florida. That's day weather where you can kind of go sit on the patio, have a cup of coffee, do something nice. Yeah. What's on your mind today, King?
This is my first time being on the channel. I just passed. I was just
Really?
scrolling. Yes, I was like, well, I want to take over.
Yeah, come on. It's an open mic. So is this your first time here, period, in the
Yes,
channel?
yes.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about what we do. I'm
Okay.
Queen Sheba. Well, we cover hot topics, reality television, but we kind of focus on the Black experience of it all.
Hmm.
From a different perspective, psychological. We kind of get deep with some stuff. A lot of it is entertaining, but some of
Hmm.
it we take behind the walls. So welcome. Feel free to hang out, kind of come what may as the topics come about. I kind of let it flow organically. I'm typically
Hmm.
not a morning person, so I don't facilitate a lot of morning conversations, but I wanted to do something different, to be honest with you. And I'm glad you kind of pulled up.
Yeah, that's good. Well, okay. Well, let me throw this out there.
Okay.
I am a brown-skinned individual that lives with high functioning autism.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more.
Um, it's not something that's talked about. The people talk about mental health, but they don't talk about like the indigos and the special people in our community that can help us out.
I love it. I just lost a special needs brother. He was on the
Mhm,
spectrum. Special needs, kind of high functioning, depending on, but there's his friends. Some of them were a little bit more high functioning than him, but
mhm,
he couldn't live alone, if that makes any sense. So I definitely know exactly what you're talking about.
mhm,
How that demographic can be overlooked a lot of
mhm.
times. Um, so I'm glad you stopped by. As far as when you say, that's something that we should be focused on or something we can do better, do you feel like as a whole or particularly like the Black community?
Yeah, the black community, because if they allowed us to have the tools and the proper communication styles that Elon Musk um, was given as he was growing up, we probably have more scientists, we probably have more millionaires, we probably have
Oh,
more politicians because he lives with Asperger's autism like
yes,
myself.
he
So
does.
so
Yes,
yeah,
he
there
does.
it'd be a lot more of us if we actually had like vocational schools for our kids that have that type of mentality, or have schools set aside for them like the X-Men. You know what I mean? Professor Xavier, he's got the school for the X-Men. But I think if we had schools for those who are found to be high functioning or having Asperger's, or
Mhm.
on the higher end of the spectrum, I think we will have a better community.
CEO Finance Queen says, I know that's right. So you got people, you've gotten their attention in the chat. I see
Mhm,
Alpham C say, baby, one thing you can say for sure, Queen Sheba is going to welcome everyone into the palace. That's what we do. There are people chiming in the chat. Maria Clark says, I have two high functioning Black sons. Yeah, you know what? I do think we can do a better job with that. Do you
mhm.
feel like, okay, so let's take it there. Shoot, we're gonna talk. Just based on your opinion, how you grew up, do you feel like Black parents should lean in a little bit more? Teachers, educators, who do you feel like should like get the
I
ball rolling?
I think the parents are misinformed because they don't understand the neuropsychology of a child that's high functioning. Like all the loud noises can cause a meltdown, can cause an overload. All of the noises just in the house, period, or just in the environment. They don't understand that it's a lot that comes with a child. And I talk to a lot of people on the internet, and some women, they say that they have like a child or grandson or granddaughter that has it, and they're like, they think they're too smart and they think they're smarter, but they are. That's not that's not something that you should attack, because they are. You know what I mean? Like the children that are high functioning, their mind is working like rapidly and always working. They're more observant, so they're listening, they're paying attention. You can't yell at them. You can't. You got to pay attention to them to see what their reality is. You know what I'm saying? And I think there just needs to be way more vocation, because
I like
education is underrated.
I like that. I one thing I do know about Elon Musk is his mother cultivated his skills and his talent.
Exactly.
She
Hmm.
advocated for him, and a lot of people don't like him because of his political views, but I always tell people, sit around. There are people that you may not agree with, you may not like, but you can take a lot from. He is business savvy.
Hmm.
He is like but a lot of that too because of the Asperger's, let me ask you this. Is it true that in some cases they can lack empathy?
Yeah, I don't really. I've learned. I'm 39, so it's
Mhm.
taken me a while to understand. Like I only understand the empathy and emotion and stuff by studying the pattern of characteristics that go with it. So it's not like I feel it, but I see it. So I know that this person is feeling sad because their mouth is moving like that. Their arms are, they might have the pouting gestures. You know what I'm saying? So it's because we learn it totally different.
Have you found your tribe? And if so, what is that like socially for you?
It's just random people on the internet.
Oh.
Yeah, I get on here to like yeah, the internet is my people. Like in the world, I don't at stores, I don't really talk to people unless I'm spoken to. I don't like people getting close to me. I don't really like talking. I don't ride in the front seat. I don't It's a lot of stuff that I just don't do because like it I don't know. But yeah, I like the internet. I can talk better with people on the internet.
Oh, that's good. So, is there a specific channel that you like to visit, or you find yourself feeling more comfortable or at home?
Yeah, I don't really like going to many places unless I'm doing music or working or get booked for anything. But other than that, I like to stay out the way.
Look, what about love and life? Are you able to live on your own, or do you have to have supervision? Do you require supervision?
Nah, I'm a functioning adult. Like I don't
Okay.
yeah, I'm not on the other end of the spectrum where people need all the special attention. Like I'm functioning properly.
This is what came to me. I'm gonna ask you this final question. I ain't trying to interrogate you now. Have you ever
Mhm.
thought about starting a curriculum
Like
for
doing
people with special needs, like some of the things that you're talking
yeah,
about?
that's
Where you see,
yeah, that's why I keep alluding to a vocational school or like if I can create one on the internet or create like an app where I can get it off, yeah.
or even like become certified to teach. Like I know a lot of people. Well, let me just say this. We met this guy on the
Mhm,
cruise. He homeschools his children. They
mhm,
were extremely brilliant on the
mhm,
cruise ship, extremely brilliant. And at first he said he was a little worried how they would do socially, but they did fine. So when I'm thinking about curriculum, that's one of the thoughts that came to my mind. People, a lot of white people are starting to homeschool their children because they feel like they can do better with them being hands-on with them as opposed to just throwing them out in the open with other people's children who could have maybe some level of influence that they really don't want their children to take up, and not necessarily just talking about special needs kids, but have you ever considered like that sort of curriculum for people that want their kids to be homeschooled?
Yeah, because I was homeschooled. I mastered hooked on phonics with my grandmother, who raised me when I was younger. And like when I had my kids, I had three kids, but I trained them the from the home. I mean, they went to school and everything, but I trained them even when they were home as kids. So yeah,
That's
homeschooling is
awesome.
good. Heck yeah,
Yeah, I
but
think so too. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, 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 you're all right, but I appreciate you for having me. I'm just networking, going from channel to channel. I'm real money. So I'll say hi in the comments to y'all again, but thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you stopped by. I'm gonna read a few of these comments. Feel free if you want to jump in and offer your opinion or recommendations. Kelly Davis says, I agree. I am raising a nonverbal autistic little girl. We work very hard for her to become functional.
Mhm,
Okay. My brother had a friend named Danny. Danny, he was very sensitive to high noise to noises, so he wore. I can see your headphones. He wore
mhm,
those all the time, and he's not
mhm,
very verbal. And he would like do use his hands to create a box around him, and that's him
mhm,
telling you to kind of stay out of his space. But
mhm.
he was a brilliant like opera singer, and he can sing like literally any tune or song that he hears.
Yeah,
Um,
because we can like when I do music too. So I got my microphone right here, but I can tune my voice.
yeah.
Then like the engineers tune the frequencies in the program. I can
Mhm.
actually tune my voice and change and go through all the seven octaves. I can tune it real good, and they do that. So yeah, I mean, but her sentence. I just tell people you gotta take time out and watch that child. Like get a camera out, put a hidden camera somewhere. I mean, not like on no extra, but where they play at, and just watch them, and then take some time out to study their movements, study their behaviors. Like why are they doing that when they like when I come back in my room,
Mhm.
I do my hand like this before I come in the door. I don't know why. I've been trying to figure it out, but I do it every time. And I come in and then I go back to whatever I was doing. But it is something that I just do every time.
That's awesome. I think this is a really great conversation. I'm glad you brought it up. Veronica Monroe says my son is high functioning on the autism spectrum. Delaware has an awesome autism program. Early intervention is the key. So
Yeah.
that's okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
early intervention is key, because once you notice it, that's when you start like documenting. You get a journal out and you write, okay, well, this time he does this and this and that. So when you do that and you find professionals, no medication for those that are highly functioning, because it's going to affect them later.
Yes, I was a huge advocate for my brother, and I was like, "Don't put him on ADHD meds. He's an
Mhm.
adult. What you need to calm him down for? We want him to talk. We want him to, be
Right.
active. And a lot of times you do have to watch the meds because to me, it's more so in favor for the caretaker or the facility that they attend. So I'm with you with that. For those of you that are tuned in, I see somebody said I came in the nick of time. Yes, I can't remember who it was. Oh, okay. To be used by God. Miss Valentine said I came here right on time. I agree. Great discussion. Alphenia Douglas, welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm back in the palace.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Jack. Are you following along with the conversation?
Yes, ma'am. I have a nephew on the spectrum too. He operates a little on the lower end of the spectrum, but we recognized it early because we have a few other family members that was born with this. It seems like every generation or so we have one or two that pop off with this I won't say disease, but this mental,
Special need.
yes, yeah, this mental special need.
Just say
And
ability.
so
It's an
yeah,
ability. That's it.
ability.
The ability.
Mhm.
Well, the disability. Well,
No,
the
not disability. It's an ability. That's it. That's all you have to say. Because if you drain it,
ability.
yeah, just say the word ability. Because they say disability, but this ability of mine is mine. It's an ability.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
we noticed the signs kind of early, so we got my nephew help that wasn't where they were shoving drugs down his throat
yeah.
and things of that matter. So it helped him come along a whole lot better than we we have seen other people, children come along. I think medication more so cripples them in my aspect. The ones I seen unmedicated and the ones that I have seen medicated. If you take it just takes patience to bring those children along, and you have to have patience, and us recognizing the signs. A lot of us knew how to be patient to help him along with this ability.
Thank you. Veronica is saying that the parents must be the first advocate for the kids. And then Kim Jones says she totally agrees with the caller. I think she was speaking to Ro Money when she says, I am finding more awareness on or about autism. One thing I will say,
Yes.
I think it's so important. How do I want to say this? Now that I know what I know from working with my brother, I don't think public school systems are equipped.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I don't think they're equipped to house um our special needs family members. And I think it would be very important in addition to researching resources, also finding facilities and schools and curriculums where they can socialize with their peers. I think that's highly effective.
That's very essential. We as a family collectively pool money to make sure that he has that special schooling.
Yep. And the field trips and the dances and just all of those things where they are normal in their world. Does that make sense? Because everybody around them, it's nothing. It's not an issue. So I think that's important too for people in the African American community. It's a lot for you to try to do as a parent, and it's important to be able to ask for help. But in order to do that, you have to know where those resources are, because they do. We don't.
Yes, essential that you know where the resources are.
And then one thing I want to add with words, all of the syllables have sounds. So when you talk to a child that is like me as a child, those frequencies, they trigger certain responses in the words. So you have to watch the words that you say too.
Oh, that's good. Terry T Baby said, "This is beautiful." Chef Don Don, thank you for popping in. Chef Don Don, who's also a content creator, says, "I am enjoying this conversation. Thank you, Queen." Thank you. No, thank you all for just participating in the chat and just stopping and showing love and support. I think it's important. Thank you, Romani, for just saying, "Hey, you know what? Since we're talking, this is important." I think it is important.
Mhm.
Um, I do know for special needs, they have their own sports teams. And I'm laughing because my brother was on a basketball team. Bowled. I didn't know he could bowl as well as he did. You'll discover a lot about your loved ones if you just kind of like go outside the norm of the public schools and then what's in your house and really start putting them and like you said, Romani, not only watching them within the confines of their space, but putting them in spaces that you've never seen them
Mhm.
um, be in before. And you'll be amazed at some of the gifts and the talents that come out.
Mhm.
But I think the more we talk about it and the more we get comfortable with just being a little bit more hands-on, advocating a little bit more verbally, because I do believe, depending on what level of the spectrum you're on, you do get those looks. You do get those stares. Um,
Mhm.
People do scratch their head, and as open as we want people to be, sometimes they're not. Have you found, Alphenia and or Romani, that people I'm not gonna say people have made it hard for you, but what challenges have you experienced socially?
When I talk to people, I don't talk with any emotion. So like the bluntness of how I talk, like it's real sharp. So I'm actually saying what I'm thinking and not what you think I'm trying to say. So people look at my facial expression and it's blank. Like I always have a blank facial expression when I'm talking. So if I'm talking happy, it's the same face. If I'm talking aggressive, it's the same face unless I move my eyebrows. But most of the time when people hear me talk, it's so monotone they don't know if I'm happy or mad or what I'm trying to say. And then when I get frustrated, they respond to that. They don't respond to understand.
Got it. Got it. CEO Finance Queen says Black families are very misinformed. This is very much needed in our community. That's why I'm opening a mental health clinic. I believe in educating our people. I do. I agree with you, CEO Finance Queen. And I think also we have to be open, right? To explore what we don't know. And we have to be okay with not knowing. I think a lot of times as Black people, I say ask for help. So that, because sometimes being an only caregiver, and that was not my experience, but I know a lot of people with that experience, it can kind of take away the softness that the special
Mm.
needs person have, because you are busy being the caretaker. You are busy advocating. And if that is your job 365 days a year, sometimes it's hard to find the lovely moments, the tender moments, because you don't have help. Everything is on you.
And me, I survived special education. I don't think people realize how much that place was um like a make ready, get you ready for prison camp. Sitting in cubicles in small rooms with these teachers restraining you and hurting you and talking to you crazy like old elderly in the old folks home. Like they treated us like that. So they groomed us for prison. A lot of us, hit us with the behavior adjustment label. And like I say, most of my assignments um, in high school, I mean, all the way up to high school, was copying words out the dictionary. All of my tests were exempt. Everything was modified, and the most work that I did was copy words down and write sentences. I did more learning at home, reading encyclopedias and just being at home, having stuff, at my house that I had. So I didn't learn anything in school because there was nothing that they can teach me that I didn't learn already.
On your own. I like it. I
Yeah,
thank you for your being open and transparent. Miss Joyce Montgomery says Black parents back in the day, and she's in her 70s, never heard about autism and were not educated or knew about autism and would say that person is slow, referring to the child, and take
right.
care of that child or family member. And I think they lock them up a lot. And what I mean by lock them up, you don't really venture out with them past the neighborhood. And I don't
Yep.
know if it's like a fear or a phobia that they're different and it's more of a protective mode, but I think you should travel with them. I think you should explore the world with them, like you said, Rod, so that you actually learn who they are in real time and what they respond to in real time in the real world. I know my brother loved love. I know he loved football. He can remember the stats. I know he loved music and songs. So you're forever learning with these beautiful, beautiful individuals.
Yeah. But yeah, nah, I do my best and I put it in my music. I put a lot of it in my tattoos. Um, I put autism in a lot of things that I do because I want people to eventually see it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having that, because people haven't been trained to see it. They're trained to notice certain symptoms, but they don't actually see it for what it is.
Yeah. Um, Sandra says, my son is high functioning and I started early intervention. He went to college a semester and worked at McDonald's to take Taekwondo. That is awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome,
I
Sandra.
did some college. I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I studied graphic designs and yeah, I studied graphic designs and all. I did air conditioned refrigeration. I have a lot of talents. I learn everything. I do a lot. So yeah,
Alberta says she's raising her 2-year-old grandson who is currently attending services to help him speak and do other functions. I will say this, Alberta, they learn quickly around others. They learn quickly and pick up habits around others. Um, And Philly girl wants to thank you for coming up today, Romani. So thank you for sharing your
oh, yeah, you're
story.
welcome.
Y- Yeah.
Sorry.
I love that caller. She said ability. It's an ability,
Yeah,
not a disability. Love it.
yeah. This ability of mine is not a disability, and that's how you should say it. Because if you say like like ab, and then you got dis, and so you got die. Like if you break words down and you like actually see what you're saying or what you're throwing at someone, especially a kid who when you say a word to me, it'll echo in my head. Like it'll like throb in my head. It won't
Mm.
really go anywhere. You feel what I'm saying? So if it's damaging to what I'm thinking about, like I'll harp on that word and it be stuck. Like they call me bad. So um all of my life. They called me slow, retarded, all that, whatever. They did all of that. And so
Mhm.
so I eventually lived it. I lived whatever those sounds were. And I was attracted to those sounds that were associated with the word bad.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's that deep.
yeah. Kathy says, as a recent retired public school educator, inclusion is huge, and parents don't always want their kids to receive the specialized instruction they may need. Kathy, you're gonna have to tell me more about that. Yeah, you're gonna have to. You know what? That's maybe I can see that. Is it a denial, Kathy, or is it a I want my kid to be treated as normal as possible, even though they have a quote unquote special need? Y'all hear that? She says some parents refuse the services that their children need.
Yeah, because a lot of them just want the money. They want the diagnosis and get the money. I had
Oh,
my grandparents, I didn't even know that I was getting money until I was like 17 and I was
damn.
doing Yeah, but I've been getting it since I was like 5 or so years old, but I didn't know until till they was passing on that I got it. So yeah, a lot of people just in the ghetto, a lot of people get it for the diagnosing and the money and the medication so they can sell it or whatever they do for it. But yeah, you just it's time to change it. Like I want to go on TED Talks one day and just like not have no script or anything and just talk to all of those people who think they're intelligent and show them what true intelligence is.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you
Thank
swinging
you.
by, Romani. You're always welcome here. Thank you for just dropping a different topic for us
Mhm.
to consider and really, really kind of ponder on. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you take that curriculum and give it a lot of thought because it's needed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Y'all make sure y'all show him some love in the chat. This is his first time, y'all. He's never been to the palace. He was just kind of scrolling by YouTube and happened to just kind of click the link. I love it. Organic conversation. Definitely needed in the African American community beyond, right? Our own households. The innocent instigator says, my son's teacher tried to say he had ADD and needed meds. His black doctor said no and let that teacher do her job as he's graduated high school and college and working and has never been arrested and is doing well. That's a good thing. My son graduated with honors from high school and college because of his grades. He received a scholarship and obtained his AA. His what? AA? BA. Is it Bachelor's of Arts? I think you meant to say, or did I get it wrong? My Lala says my sister's special needs. She is a special needs teacher at a private school, and she says the same thing. Really, Lala? So what they're saying, y'all, is sometimes we refuse to help. We refuse to help. That the parents sometimes can be a hindrance or a barrier to care. You know, it's not that they're wanting to treat the kids different, but they do require something different. And sometimes parents are not always open with receiving that help. You're very welcome, Michelle. Actually, I got to give credit to Ro Money. You said, thank you for all of this information. I'm glad he stopped by. Thank you, Ro. People are really grateful for this conversation. Miss Shay B say it's because they are in denial. I had to pay to get my daughter evaluated. Her school refused to do it because she was high functioning. And you know what, Shay? Sometimes we got to put an investment in our own children as opposed to relying on the public systems. So I'm glad you were able to do that for your child. Yep. Money says, thank you, everybody. How I see it, many teachers are not educated to even recognize. I agree. But you know what? I think it's a hard task for them now. I think teachers deal with so much. And that's why I think as a people, we've got to get out of the notion of having or wanting to depend on others to solution our needs, our special needs, and not just for our children, but also for us. Some kids, she says, some kids are acting up in class because of no early intervention because parents are in denial and don't want to be bothered. Let me ask y'all something. Let's keep it real. Has it been easier, or do you feel like sometimes in a Black community, it's easier to just turn a blind eye because it's too much to deal with? We haven't been trained. We don't know what to do. It's easier just to kind of pluck somebody, plop them in a corner, and go on. Are they in denial? Crystal says the same thing. Some parents are in denial. I always tell my parents, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to provide intervention. Do you think they're in denial, or do you think it's so overwhelming and they're filled with anxiety? Always be cute. Welcome to the conversation. I saw you earlier, Queen. Okay, Lala feels like they are in denial and think their money will make their children the same as others. What about the ones that have labeled the kids as slow? The R word, we use that a lot in the Black community. He's slow. He's the R word. Y'all know what R word I'm talking about. Or disabled. Don Simber says, thank you for stopping by with this valuable information and wisdom at Row Money. Have a blessed and great day. Right? I agree. We are very, Kathy says we are very progressed in Virginia. Our special education teachers are the hardest working and most underpaid staff. I would start my own curriculum. I would like if it's somebody out there and it's a gift. It's a gift if you are really good with working with um, special needs individuals. And if you've been blessed with that gift, man, if I were some of you, I would be starting my own homes, my own day hab programs, all of that beautiful stuff. Because some of these caregivers and shift workers for special needs, man, they are absolutely phenomenal human beings. Phenomenal human beings. And when my brother passed and I had his funeral, when I tell you they showed up and showed out, and what I actually did for his funeral, all of his pallbearers were special needs and all had autism. And we had two individuals in the front that were grown men to be able to direct them and help them carry the casket. But they did a phenomenal job. They did a phenomenal job with specific and precise instructions of what to do. They were absolutely fantastic, right? Because of the help we received from the staff and the other people. So if I were you, and if you're tuned in to this segment today, and you have a gift and a heart for special needs, let me ask you this. Why are you playing? Why are you sitting on that talent? Because that need is not going anywhere. It's a needed niche in the marketplace. There are a lot of dollars and grants and funding for it. Should you decide to start your own home, do the research, see what the requirements are, see what it would take for you to get it off the ground. There is nothing wrong with taking the first step and just researching to see what's out there and how you can serve others, if that's your calling. If that you feel like that's your calling. Crystal DOT says we need more minority occupational and speech therapists as well. I'm a Black occupational therapist, and I think that makes a difference. It can, and it does. It can, and it does. Thank you, IPV. Says great. IPV says a great conversation. Let me see what else we got going on in the chat. Let me drop the link just in case. And then, yeah, don't sit on talent, baby. Don't sit on talent. Like, we're talking end of year 20. We're about to wrap up very quickly 2024. And as you enter into 2025, I say go bold, go confidently. Don't sit on your talent. The worst thing you can do is find out, it's not for me. It's not for me. Thank you, Alf MC. She said this was an incredible conversation. Thank you, Ro Money, for your bravery of popping up on the panel to openly chat and bring awareness. Babette says she worked in the school system for 12 and a half years, and some of the parents requested their children to be in special ed. But see, is special ed still the same, y'all, like it used to be, where you just kind of throw everybody in one classroom? Is it still the same? And if it is, that's why I base my opinion on what I said earlier. I don't think public school systems are equipped. Hell, half of them are not even equipped to deal with students that don't have special needs. You get what I'm saying? I would say this. I would never put my child in a public school system. I wouldn't. I would homeschool. Thank you, Emancipated Educator. We have a teacher in the building. Yes, thank you to all of the educators. I think we do turn them. Okay, let's do this. Aquarius 1982 says, I don't know how we can turn a blind eye to it. Well, Ro Money made a good point. A lot of people do for the check. You've seen it. I've seen it in the hood. They get the check. They turn a blind eye. And those kids are never stimulated in some cases, in many cases, outside of what's going on in that home. You know what I mean? And whatever else that they can get free. Other than that, there is no investment in some cases. And unfortunately, in many cases, in Black neighborhoods, in Black homes. Now, the question is it because we don't have the proper training, or is it because we're just not motivated to do anything about it? Kisco says, stop having kids for a paycheck. No, you have been trained. You have been trained. Time for accountability. Ooh, Ouch. Ouch. You throw a rock in the crowd. You throw a rock in the crowd. Somebody's going to holler. I didn't say it. Kisco said it. He said, you have been trained. Now it's time for an accountability conversation. What are your thoughts on that, y'all? Are we a people of excuses? Or is it that the system constantly hides things from us and we just don't have any idea? Kisco, I'm going to start this one so we can come back to it later. Ooh. Kathy says we are parenting in schools. Not, you know what? Thank you. I think it's too much. I think the expectation is unbelievable for what we want teachers to do with our kids. And I think we've gotten away from creating the baselines that we should be creating at home. The baseline where you've actually done the work, and not just for special needs, y'all, for your own kids by way of their behavior, their discipline, their manners, how they show up, how respectful or disrespectful they are, they are or they are not, their hygiene, their speech, their ability to articulate their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions. Have we become so lazy and have so disconnected that we're just relying on the teachers and everybody else to step in and parent our children? Oh, thank you, American Born. She says, I feel like this was your brother, Queen, bringing this man to talk to you today. You know what? I didn't expect it. I call it serendipity. Serendipity. Something beautiful found me that I wasn't looking for today. I'm glad I jumped on this live. Aunt Cece say some parents just don't want to admit that their children are different. Ooh. Some parents just, it could be. Island Girl said, this is a great conversation. I think so too. I don't think we have it enough. And I think if parents pulled together in the Black community and started to work together, because 2 is stronger than 1. 3, listen, there's power. What if Black parents got together and you know your kid has a special need, and not because they've been diagnosed. Maybe they're just not well behaved. And then so is her child or his child. And we start coming together and working together and pouring in what we can as a group, as a whole. Because I said, listen, one time I was invited to a luncheon and I went with these ladies, many years ago. And I didn't know the home I was going to, that they actually homeschooled their children. But not only did they homeschool their children, they worked as a unit in that community. And one mom actually taught baking at her home to give the other moms a break. So the kids would come over there and they would bake muffins and cakes. And when I walked in that house, it smelled so good. And I remember that's where I got the idea that if I would never send my kids to public school. I would do homeschooling. Because that was such a beautiful setup of how those women work together to help each other out. And I don't think we do enough of that. Hell, even in regular life. You know what I mean? I think it's each man for himself. And I think that's the mentality we often lead with. Let me go down. You're so welcome, Chef Don Don. He says, I appreciate this. You are so welcome, Don Don, and everybody else that may be taking something away from today's conversation. I'm so glad you remember yesterday, y'all, we was behind the wall. I don't know if y'all remember this. And we talked about trusting your instinct. We talked about trusting your instinct and trusting yourself. And my instinct says, go live. And I was like, talk about what? And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. Welcome, how I see it.
Hi, Queen Sheba. How are you?
I am fantastic. Good morning to you.
Good morning. I really had to jump on this one, hop out of the bushes and onto the live because I've said this on my own channel that I am a pre-kindergarten teacher. So I am at the end of I guess I should say I'm at the beginning phase of the education system, right? Where we kind of try to push early intervention a lot. And the past 5 years that I've been a pre-K teacher. Sorry, I went out. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm letting you talk. Go ahead.
Okay. The past 5 years that I've been a pre-K teacher, I've had so many experiences of parents who they feel like, one, they don't want their child to be labeled. That's one thing that I've heard a lot. I remember having one student who, this child could do the most advanced math, super smart, but emotionally and socially had a lot of issues. And we would talk to the parents about the behavior, but because the child was smart, because they could read above grade level, because they could do math that, friends in their age group couldn't do, the parent felt like nothing is wrong with my child. I'm not going to, listen to teachers who are trained to kind of spot certain things and participate in these early intervention programs. So I would like to advise parents that, from my understanding, from what I've been taught, there are three levels when it comes to autism. And I said in the chat, it's called a spectrum for a reason. No, no one on the spectrum is going to be the same or act the same. And so parents have to be open to listen to teachers when we are, trying to explain certain things. They also have to be, um how do I put it without not without sounding
Just be open.
right. Right, they just have to be open and
Right.
understand that we're not trying to say that your child is quote unquote slow when we point certain things out. I think that's one of the main fears that parents have, like, oh, you're calling my child stupid, you're calling my child slow, instead of just understanding that, no, we are with this child a lot of the times for more hours than parents are with their children, honestly. And
Yeah.
we are seeing the behaviors, we are seeing the signs. A lot of us, I, for one, I have my certification as a registered behavior therapist, right? Along with my credentials as a pre K teacher. So I've been trained to identify the signs. And though I cannot diagnose, I can say, Mom, Dad, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm observing. I think you might want to bring your son, your daughter to get tested at these particular places where they can give you the help that you need, so as they, go into the public school system or even the a private school system, they are more equipped. Not everything is about the academics. A lot of it
Let
is
me ask
also
you this,
about the
because that's a
social
lot
and
of
emotional.
information. Let me ask you this. If you could sum it up
Yes,
and just give them 3 bullet points, what should be the takeaway for the parents?
not everything is about your child's academics. A child can be absolutely smart, but if they're failing in the area of their social and emotional health, then that's also something that, as a parent, you have to find important and get your
Okay.
child the help that they need in that regard. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's what I
Thank
would
you
say to
for
that.
sharing how I see a TV, y'all. She works with pre-Kers. So
All right.
she's
I'm gonna hop off.
Oh, no, you're fine. So she works with pre-K, y'all, and she said a lot of times the teachers are with the a little bit more. They're with them. Let's just talk about it. They spend more time with them than you, to be honest. So don't be so defensive when a teacher wants to talk to you about something that they've noticed. It's not that they are trying to mishandle or label your child as a negative. They've spotted a need or they see something that could be an opportunity for you to be able to capture and intervene very, very early. That's it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it sounds like we're not open to that. We become defensive first.
Yeah. Speech therapy helps. Behavior therapy helps with a lot of things. And there are also sometimes at the end of a spectrum where the child might need more support than a teacher in a public school setting can give, and as a parent you also have to be open to that as well.
I will say this for teachers, and
Mhm.
that if you are teachers, whoever, not just teachers, but whomever may have to have a tough conversation with the
Mhm.
parent or the caretaker or the adult or the guardian of the individual that requires a little bit more hands-on. Have a solution, because sometimes to have that type of conversation and say, I think they require a little bit more. Give
Mhm.
them the next step, as opposed to saying, okay, that's it. I thought I would let you know. Because that can be heartbreaking, that can be frustrated, and now they really don't know where to start. So if you're going to have that conversation regarding somebody's child, somebody's niece, nephew, whatever, at least have the resources ready to go. Here's the person that I'm going to refer you to. He or she could give you a little bit more information. In the meantime, here's what you can do. I think that's helpful as well. And that's not
Yes,
just for
absolutely.
teachers, but for anybody, so that these people don't feel defeated, right? Because they're already working a job. It could be a single parent household. They could have other children. And sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. And sometimes when people are overwhelmed, they do nothing.
True.
Uh,
And also I saw somebody talk about, parents who are in denial, because as I said, I've been in this system for about 5 years now, and I've seen where parents, they've literally like moved a student from one school to the next, to the next, to the next. Every time a school says, this is what I think is happening, this is what I think you should do, because they're in denial, what they choose to do instead of participating in those early intervention programs is to move them to another school, and then it's the same issue, and instead of listening, they go to the next school and they continue that cycle until they get into the public school system where you have to get the child tested at this point.
I hope you found some value in how I see it, was able to give it to you from an educator's perspective, y'all. And I hope you're taking notes. Thank you for coming up. How I see it,
Right.
great
Thank
information.
you. I'll be back in the bushes now.
Good. And thank
Bye.
you for all you do on the behalf of the children.
You're welcome. All right, bye
Yeah,
guys.
thank you. That's awesome, y'all. I think this is very good information. You didn't have to make an appointment to get it. A lot of times you're not getting nothing unless you sit down, you make an appointment to talk with a teacher, some type of government entity. All of this is free today over here in the palace. The Prince of Peace says, I'm loving this conversation. I'm glad my mother was my advocate, because if not, I would have been heavily medicated and misdiagnosed with something I did not have. And African Americans, y'all, it is a fact, are often they're often misdiagnosed more than any other race. So a lot of times you could be on the wrong medicine for depression. You may not need what they're giving you. There's a doctor that did a study. 87% of the diagnoses were wrong in the mental health field. The government did a study. The government did a study, and they secretly audited psychotherapists, hold on, the ones that can write no, the ones psychiatrists and medical doctors, and they had no idea that the government was auditing them and going through and they felt like they intentionally or did not do their due diligence when it came to misdiagnosing Black patients, had them on the wrong meds and everything. So just FYI, always get a second opinion. Always advocate for yourself. Ask a lot of questions, when it comes to you and yours. Because a lot of times you get 15 minutes in these healthcare appointments. You get 15 minutes. Hold on. So when you call to make these appointments, say, I know it's a 15-minute slot, but I need you. Can you please add on a little bit more? I have some questions for the doctor. And if you don't like your doctor, find another one. You do not have to remain in that relationship. And oftentimes we are heavily medicated because a lot of doctors have this pervading desire to drug you the hell up, to drug you the hell up. Babette, I see you trying to come up, but your device is not connected. So you're going to want to drop down and come back because it won't let me bring you up. Ask a lot of questions. Also ask doctors, even if you do need the meds, say, okay, even if I do need the meds today, whether it's for a chronic condition, ADHD, whatever, what can I do so that I can come off this medication in 90 days? Outside of me taking this pill, what are my other options? Thank you, dog lady. She says, I'm in the bushes and I'm really enjoying this. I'm in the bushes and I'm really enjoying this. I'm glad you came out the bushes to say hello. Okay, I have a friend who was my neighbor. She homeschooled, but she didn't like it. She got her mom to let her go to school with us once we were in high school. Yeah. Were there other kids? I mean, it probably can be a lot if it's just you at the table. Tia P said, this conversation is very eye-opening and will help me in my relationship with my autistic family members. Yeah, even when they become adults, they still need stimulation. They need mental stimulation. They need physical stimulation. You got to know where the resources are. You got to know where the schools are. You got to know where the jobs are. You got to know where to go so that you can plug them in the right places so that they can continue to thrive in their adult life. Okay, so Babette, this is what you have to do. You got to go out, but don't go out yet. Before you enter studio, make sure you already have your camera off and your audio connected. And then when you come in, don't touch nothing and it should work. Let's see if that works. Valerie R says, so sorry to say it, but some parents are lazy. They don't teach their kids anything, in my opinion. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Whew. Kathy said there are hardworking teachers in public schools who have to work more than one job to support their own families. We have to pay educators more. We gotta demand it. I don't think we value teachers, but we want them to do everything with our kids. We want them to do everything with our kids. Let me see. I'm going down before I end. I'm going to let Babette come up and then we're going to roll up out of here. I've been on for an hour. I got to go, y'all. We got members only. We got some living to do. And the last thing I want to say this. I say it a lot. Y'all, stop playing. Stop playing. I saw somebody post something about 2025. I'm going to do ABC. And in my head, I thought, girl, you can start doing that today. You can plan your travel today. You can start having fun today. You can start telling people no today. I need more of y'all to start catching some flights, to start going on vacation and having a little bit more fun. Because some of y'all too angry. And I know you ain't having fun. You too angry. You too mad. Get out that house. Get out that house. Not none of you in the chat. I'm just saying the other ones, right? I need some of these people to get out the house so that you can show up better. So you can show up better in the world. Okay? Start having some fun. Let your hair down. You're too damn angry. You're too mad. You're too envious. Too jealous. And I think a vacation does the body good. You know? Thank you, S. White. She said this conversation changed the atmosphere. I like talking about different things. It opens us up. It opens us up and get to learn more about the people. I'm online with damn near everybody. Yeah, it does. Angry early in the morning. Girl, they be angry all day, every day. I cannot take a vacation. Please. Toot says she dropping off this rental. Listen, did you play the music loud in they shit? Dun, dun. We can start today. Flight booked, hotel booked. Quit playing, Black folks, and start traveling. Yes, weekends with Winnie, absolutely. Says sometimes a child's diet is affecting their performance at school. Consider diet changes. Listen, fresh fruits, whole foods. Get some good stuff in those kids' system. Outside of all of that damn processed food, Pop-Tarts, cereal, all that stuff. I love you too, Tara. Now, we got to go because we got some things to do with members only. Rashana, What you say? Did she play the music loud? I'm joining a traveling group with one of my friends. Go, Shan. Spread your wings and fly. I think travel looks good on Black folks. I think it's good for the soul. You can tell the people that are living out loud versus those that are shacked up and housed in a corner, shadow boxing their demons. Listen, stop it. Start traveling. Start traveling. Get out. Go by your damn self. You'll meet somebody. We got people coming on our cruise that are rooming by themselves, stepping out on faith. Yes. Does anyone have any resources for adult with autism? What state? Chi-town. Does that mean Chicago? Just Google Dayhab programs. Dayhab. Let me write it in there, and then I got to jump off. Dayhab programs near me. That's what you want to put. Start with that. Toot says she tried to burst the speakers out of that rental car. So Chi-town girl, they have programs for adults. Start with that. And then they'll give you a lot of information. And you want to kind of like get a feel based on the person's personality and what program you think would be best, and see what they tell you. What kind of activities, what type of traveling do they do, field trips, all of that. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. We got it. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We got to go talk about our cruise. I'll see you in members only right now. Thank you everybody. Great conversation. Y'all have a good day. Happy Monday.